eBEFOREi here, back with another review, and this time I'm very excited to be able to bring you the first edition Transformers Prime Bulkhead. Very excited about this. I held off on it. So here in North America, this figure was not officially released. We thought we were going to get it. We didn't get it, and the only way you could really get this guy here would be to pay $60, $70, $80+ a piece for these first edition Voyager figures that never made its way into our stores. So I could not be more excited that I was patient for once in my life, and I held off, and instead of paying $80 for one figure, I paid $50 total for two figures. First edition Bulkhead and first edition Optimus Prime. So very, very happy. Let's look at the box real quick. You can see the nice lettering, first edition here up at the top. Down here a little bit further, you've got 2-in-1 robot to vehicle. Transformers Prime Bulkhead, some warnings. Don't put this toy in your mouth if you're under 3. If you're over 3, yeah, chew on him all day long. Ages 5+. Over here on the side, you've got a great piece of animation. First of all, it says, as you can see, First Edition Series 2 Bulkhead. There's Bulkhead's picture. Very, very nice animation right there. Very, very cool. He's looking at you like he's just gonna pound you in the face. Awesome. Over here on the back, you've got Bulkhead in robot and vehicle mode. Removable Energon battle mace. Okay. Yeah, there's, sorry for the glare in the pictures here. But, yeah, you've got Prime there, is also available in the cast of Transformers Prime.
Look for your favorite robots on Transformers Prime! TM.
TV Y7 and a bunch of fine print that I don't want to read right now. On the bottom, yeah, it shows you the stand. I don't even need to cover the stand. It's a piece of cardboard, whatever, and a bumblebee silhouette. The coolest thing about this whole package is on the top. And you have a nice plastic embossed, I mean, you can actually feel this Autobot symbol. I mean, that's just awesome. This is the kind of box that you get and you don't want to throw it away because it really, really looks good, and as a collector, you want to hang on to it. On the other side, there's another piece of animation, and it's Bulkhead with some lightning behind him and some fog down here, and yeah, he's not happy. He thinks that you're a bad guy. So anyway, so that's really all I have to say about the box itself. Very, very neat, very cool. I'm going to leave this box intact. I'll store this somewhere. But the real reason you're here is first edition Bulkhead. There he is in vehicle mode with his bunny tail. Yeah, weapons with Transformers. You'd think it wouldn't be hard, you know? You'd think it wouldn't be that hard. The Asian market might have the right idea with the arms micron weapons that transform. I don't know, maybe not. So this looks great in robot mode, and we'll probably cover it more there. But in vehicle mode, take the cottontail and throw it aside. This is really the main event, though, and Bulkhead, I'll tell you what, this is a very, very compact, heavy, still got some bulk to it. This toy feels great in the hands. It really does. It feels fantastic in your hands. It's got some nice weight. It doesn't feel like it's brittle plastic. Everything pegs together real nice. So, I'm very, very happy about this vehicle mode. It's a little bit bigger than the RID Bulkhead, and I don't know if this is going to come across that well on camera, but there's a definite size difference here. Now, granted, they might look, sort of the same on camera. But if you really look at it from a top-down perspective, you start to see that there's a pretty big difference in just the sheer amount of plastic that's used here. There's a lot more plastic going on here than what you've got here. Also, the RID Powerizer Bulkhead feels light and hollow. Sort of because he is light and hollow. There's nothing hollow about this toy. I mean, I don't have a scale nearby, but there's a significant weight difference here. So that's something to note. Paint applications on this vehicle. He's got the very, very cool headlights here that are painted, as they were on, I guess we should just compare these things. You have the silver painted on the front on first edition. You have a dark paint on the RID, and it is paint. You know, at first glance it looks like this is unpainted plastic, but it's painted. Looking over on the side, you have a translucent window here, which you don't have here. You have the silver paint on that back window. I'm not sure why they did that. Seems like an odd choice to me. And over here you've got paint all the way across the windows. Again, I don't know why they did that, but whatever, it's fine. Green here, green on the bottom. You have the in-plastic molding gas tank on both. Looking at the back of them, you got taillights on both. On the first edition bulkhead, it's a darker paint for the taillights. RID has that light paint. In the back, you have their arms both sticking out. And you know, the interesting thing about first edition is it kind of almost looks like it's sloppily pegged in on the bottom. And part of that might be my fault. But it rolls really well. Every wheel's turning, there's nothing hanging down too far, and so that's definitely a good thing. On the top, you have these molded in plastic accessories here. I don't know really what they would be, but it's part of the vehicle. It's part of the toughness of the vehicle. I don't even know what that means. But you know, you've got the silver paint here, and these probably are fog lights here. You don't have that on this one because you got the head ready to flip down on this guy. And you've got this kind of weapon peg here, which is sort of out of place. So, first edition definitely gets the nod as far as just non-obtrusive plastic moldings. I will say that the kind of silly thing on RID is you can flip his head up. I don't know if you can on here or not, but as ridiculous as this looks, I think it's kind of cool. Alright, let's flip that out of here. So, you know, that's really the comparison between the two. Also on the back of this one, you've got real nice gold paint and black and silver. So that's a nice touch on the first edition figure. But again, at a glance, if you don't have access to this, and you pay the $20 for this one, it's fine. But the fact that you can pick this one up for $25, I'd go here. I would get this one. Not only just in vehicle mode, but in both modes in general. The robot mode is really where this one shines. So let's get Bulkhead transformed, and we'll get both of them transformed, and I'll show you the differences between the two in robot mode. But I'm telling you now, despite the fact that I've got Voyager, Dreadwing, every Voyager I think in the Prime series I think this one might be one of the best ones. I really do. Anyway, let's get him transformed. Transforming Bulkhead is really a work of genius. I mean, so much has been compacted into this vehicle. And the amazing thing about it is, I mean, you can see on the undercarriage that the way this thing compacts, I mean, you get a very tall robot out of this, which is amazing because it just fits in this neat little package. I mean, this is his arms, and his hands are right here in the back, which actually make tailpipes in vehicle mode, which is cool. But the fact that these are his arms, and it takes up the whole back side of the vehicle, that tells you that the whole front end of this guy is the robot. So really just a completely amazing transformation. To start this guy off, what you want to do is you want to come down here, and you just want to grab this thing by the wheels, and you want to pull it down like that. Okay? Just ingenious. I mean, really just awesome. Have I said that enough times yet? Alright, so after you do that, you want to get these legs out, okay? And to do that, you're just going to give them a little pull. Pull them out to the side. And here you have basically his knees. You just kind of bring them down and stretch them out. You hear those ratchet joints. It's great. Okay, so now that you have his legs out, you want to come down here and you want to open up his feet. Just get your fingernails in there. It's tight, but it's doable. And just open those up. Just like that. Okay, and literally, you finished with the legs at this point. Moving on to the transformation, you want to come up to this hood section, and you want to basically just kind of pop out these headlights here. And you lift them up, and you pivot them up, like that. Do the same thing on the other side. Just get in there, pull it out, and lift it up like that. Now you don't have to have it at this aggressive of an angle, that's up to you. At this point, you want to come underneath and just grab that hood section and get this separated. And once you have that up, you want to lift it up and just set it right there. Do that on both sides. How many times am I going to say that on this review? Do it again on the other side. Yeah, you got it. And also, I should mention as I'm transforming this, I'm sure you've noticed by now, my toy has a little blemish right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a piece of the plastic that looks like one of the screws came up too high. So that kind of sucks. But what can you do about it? It is what it is. And it's not gonna ruin it. It's fine. Alright, from that point, you want to come around to the back here. And you want to separate this section. Okay, you want to separate it just like that. And you want to unpeg. So really, come up to the top and open this up. And get this up at an angle. Then you're going to lift this section, just like that. And you're going to separate this. And you're going to take this section right here where the door panels are. And you're going to pull that out. And actually, you know, I probably took that part up too soon because you want to get this out just like that, okay? So do the same thing on the other side. You want to just give it a pull till you can separate this section, okay? And get it around here. Get the whole thing out just like that. And get it out in front. At that point, you can worry about getting this part up flush against the windshield. Just sort of leave it like that for now. And as you can see, Bulkhead is slowly exploding. That's cool. Alright, then you want to take the arms and kind of just pull them out like that. Okay, you can take this back part and kind of move it down. And this is really only so you can flip the head up. So reach in there, grab the head, and pull it all the way down, and you basically have Bulkhead's head exposed here. Okay, next you want to lift this piece up. And you want to just get this underneath, and there's a tab, and let me get this in here so you can see what I'm talking about. There's a tab right there. There's a hole right there. And you want to basically pull that down and plug it in. Okay, once you've done that, you can bring this piece up and basically just snap it in, and it all fits together real nice and snug right there. Okay? Alright, so after you're done with that, by the way, before I go any further, I've just transformed him back a little bit because there's something on this figure that was driving me crazy. And I figured it out, and, you know, judging by a lot of the video reviews I've seen of Bulkhead, I think a lot of people miss this step. And so I want to show you how to do it properly. You'll notice that you've got these green tabs right here, okay? The idea is these front chest panels, what you're trying to do here when you lift these things up is to get these chest panels to tab, that green tab right there, right into that slot. But after you've already pegged them down and you pull this thing up, it is an impossible tab. There is no way, well, maybe you've got that special talent, but there is no way to get a good lock here. So the way to do it is to leave these things down first, okay? And lift this chest piece up. And you'll notice when you do that, that basically what you've done is you've taken that green tab, okay, and you've gotten it real close to the hole there in that black piece on the top part of the hood. So I'm going to lift this up, all right, while the hood is still extended, and I'm going to slowly bring it down until I can lock it in place. Did you see how I did that? Now I've got a good lock there. So while I'm still at that angle, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. Just bring it up, and this should go in real nice and easy. Again, now that I'm already at this angle, I'm going to pull that in. There, and I've got a real nice fit right there, okay? When that part's been done, then you bring this piece down, tab it in, and there's a tab here that we covered, but that's going to go into that little piece of plastic. Then you bring this piece up, slot it in there, lock it in, and now I've got the tabbed front part of the chest, okay? And everything else is ready to go right back into its existing slot. So Wanted to cover that. That was driving me nuts, and just figured out that that's the way to do it. So FYI, do that step first, kids and grown-ups and robots. There are these green tabs right here. And you want to get that into the green tabs right there, the green slots. All right, I'm sorry, right there. Right there. So you're just going to move this down until it tabs into place on both sides. Okay? It doesn't really snap or anything, but it's there good. Now this is where you want it to be, so you're going to grab this piece and you're going to hook it into that slot. Just like that. And it's real tight when you do that. Real nice. Real nice fit there. Okay? Okay, so after you've got everything pegged back in, go ahead and readjust the arms. Shoulder pads back up. Pose him up. Alright, so this is Bulkhead in his awesome robot mode. I mean, look at the way that this guy fills out. From the vehicle mode, I mean, he just completely pops out into this bulky, pretty tall figure. And it's really, I mean, he fits the word bulkhead in every sense of the word. He fills out very nice. You don't hardly see visually any hollow bits in this figure, although there are some there. It's covered extremely well. This figure has some weight to it. He's got a nice bulk feel to it. So again, it just embodies the name of Bulkhead here in this toy. Now, looking at him a little bit closer, you can see that Bulkhead is just painted up very nice. Starting with his head, he's got these very, very cool blue painted eyes. Now that's not light piping, and that's sad because he's got a strip of translucent plastic in the back. So if his eyes weren't painted, you'd have to believe that this guy's able to have some pretty wicked light piping. But because of the paint, I'm not making this up, guys. There's just nothing there. But they're painted a very nice blue, and I don't really have a problem with that. They're painted very nice. He's got the metallic silver in the arms. He's got these very neat, so the arms can fit in. These things are on a spring. And again, the way that this figure just kind of pops out from his vehicle, I mean, it's just extremely impressive. Again, you've got the metallic here. You've got gold in the feet, which is different than what you got on the Transformers Prime weaponizer. Or powerizer, excuse me, Bulkhead. No paint here on the kneecaps. That's just kind of a gray plastic. I call it sideswipe plastic from the movie, but that's exactly what that is. Here on the front, you've got a fake grill. So that's not part of the vehicle. The vehicle grill is underneath the crotch piece. Pretty sneaky of them, if you ask me. But that's the actual grill underneath. But, you know, the fake one's fine. Got a little bit of a hole space here. That's really the only hollow bit that's visible on the toy. And it doesn't really bother me at all because, again, this guy fills out into this perfectly bulky figure. On the sides, again, great profile. The wheels are appropriately on his back, like the wings that you see on TV. So, again, I think that that's fantastic. You've got more gold paint here on the back, which I don't believe that part is visible in his truck mode. So, again, they didn't have to do that, but it's amazing that they did. Just absolutely amazing. Articulation, Bulkhead moves. He's got his, of course he moves. His whole shoulder piece moves back and forth. So he's got the swivel and the shoulder moves. His head is on a ball joint. You don't get a ton of movement from it. You know, you get a little bit of up and down, but really that's all I think that you're going to need there. Now his hands actually move back in due to transformation, but this exhaust pipe sort of looks like a weapon here. And you could take his ball here. Hey-oh. Anyway, you can take his ball weapon, and you can put it on his hand, and it really makes it look like he does on the show, like the weapon just came out of his arm, and he's ready to pounce. So that is just super cool. And again, it's a nice touch that they didn't have to do. So that kind of serves a dual purpose here, that this ends up looking like a weapon, and it ends up looking like his mufflers when he's in vehicle mode, and it fits in the spiky ball, the mace, so to speak, and yeah, I think it makes it look great. He's got ratchets on his legs. See if you can hear this. Sweet, that's cool. He's got leg rotation or knee rotation both above the kneecap and below it. So there's a lot of different poses that you can get with this guy. I'm not going to embarrass myself and try to do that. So all in all, just a really fantastic figure. Now, putting him side by side, here he is next to Transformers Prime RID Powerizer Bulkhead. And I'll tell you what, there's not really any comparison here. I mean, there's really not. Look at these two. You know, this one, show accurate. This one, not show accurate. You know, it's almost like this Bulkhead went on a diet. And so he's all flat in the gut here. But he's still rounded out. You know, he's not a horrible figure. And if you can't find first edition, then this one, I suppose, is serviceable. The one thing that this one has over this guy is he's got that movable hinge in his jaw. So you can jaw him up and down, and it's kind of cool, I guess. And you don't get that here. On this guy, it's just, you know, nothing moves other than the head itself. But you know what? That doesn't make up for it at all. I mean, again, if you look at these two side by side, go out of your way to find this, because this guy looks just like the show. So close. Not perfect, but so close. This one went on a diet. Now he's got to get rid of all the stuff. I don't even know what that means. But if you look, I mean, there's so much hollow bits to this one. I mean, he's light. He doesn't have the same feel to it. Now, I reviewed this guy on my channel, and I liked him perfectly fine before I got a hold of this guy. So, you know, take it what you will. Everything you see on my channel is my opinion. Your opinion may be different, but to me, there's really no comparison between these two. Also, this one didn't get away without having these wings here. These pieces that jet up, which again, doesn't do that on the animated model. The animated model looks like that. So again, the fact that you've got this robot that transforms perfectly from vehicle into robot mode, everything just explodes out of this thing and makes this fully rounded out figure. I just can't recommend this figure highly enough. I mean, if you see him, run out there, pick him up, take him home. Even if you don't see him, look online, sites like TF Source, like BigBadToyStore.com. They probably still have stock on this guy. You can get him for around 25 bucks. Money well spent. I'd recommend him at 50. I'd recommend him at 60. The prices that people were paying to bring this guy in, I recommend him. But now that he's a Toys R Us exclusive in the United States, there's no reason not to pick this guy up, and at the websites that I'd mentioned. And I'm sure there's more. So anyway, that's really all I have to say about this character. Thank you so much for watching. As always, you guys are really, really helping make this a very successful channel. I'm still new at this, but I'm telling you what, you all have just attached to this thing, and you all are amazing. So thank you so much. I'll continue to work hard to make this channel the best it can be. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. I do reviews 1 or 2 a week, and looking forward to hearing from you guys in comments. Thanks again. We'll see you again real soon.